Alrighty. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, probably to my channel because I have almost no subscribers, but that's okay. I just wanted to talk a little bit about freshman year of college because I finished my first year of college last year. Obviously, I'm not like an upperclassman, so I might not be the most qualified to give advice, but I do want to talk about some of the things that I learned that could be really helpful to people that are going into their first year of college. And I know before I went into it, I was looking up YouTube videos. I need advice. I need to know what to do, like how to make friends, crap like that. So I wanted to do a little video kind of talking about just some things that I've learned, just like a couple little tips here and there. Some background information about me is that like I said, I'm going into my second year of college. I go to the University of Cincinnati and I'm currently a fashion design major, which I'm going to get into a little bit later because I actually haven't started that major yet, which is fine. I have about 10 little tips here, so I'm just gonna go straight into it and just talk about each one. So also really quick, I just want to say that these tips aren't in like a specific order or anything like of most importance. They're just like ideas that came to me as I had them and I wrote them down. My first tip for college freshmen is to eat in the dining halls because at least where I went to college, they require first years to use the meal plans and eat in the dining halls for pretty much every meal. And I know that the food there can get so boring and like I got tired of it so quickly and I just wanted to eat out all the time. But you also have to remember that you're a college student and it's kind of expensive to constantly be eating out and buying food, and it's also not very healthy. And at least most dining halls will have provided like some healthy meals that you can choose from. Try to eat there as often as you can, even if you don't want to. Like maybe save 1 or 2 times a week that you'll go to a restaurant with your friends or something. My second tip is to make sure that you're getting enough sleep. Now this is something that I definitely did not do my first year. I wish that I had because honestly, everybody knows that's how you get your energy, that's how you get it through the day. When you're in college, you're using a lot of energy and like brain power, no matter like what level of school you're in. That's basically what's happening. And it's really easy when there's nobody around to kind of tell you not to just stay up super late doing stuff that you don't necessarily need to be doing, or even staying up late doing like homework that you put off or extra studying, which is great, but also getting enough sleep is going to make you do better on these things that you're studying for. Number 3 is another one that I feel like is pretty obvious, but I have some tips along with it, is to stay organized, not only with your schoolwork, but in your dorm room and everything like that. Just make sure you know where everything is so that if you suddenly need something, you'll know where to find it. And my main advice for you in terms of organization is to get a planner. This is the one that I have, and I'm not kidding when I say that it was literally a lifesaver because I didn't only just put homework and everything and assignments that I needed to get done, but I put down when I had classes, where I had classes, anything that I needed to get done, emails that I needed to send. College is kind of an eye-opener in a way that you suddenly have a ton of responsibilities that are just put on you, and it's easy to get kind of overwhelmed with that and not know what to do or when to take care of things. And with a planner, you can really use it for anything. You can use it for budgeting, for scheduling out your weekend, anything at all. And I really recommend that because it got me through my first year, honestly. And it's really fun to cross out things after you do them. 4 is email etiquette, which is really important because when you're emailing a professor or anyone who is faculty at the university that you go to, you're gonna wanna be as polite as possible. You need to use good grammar, you need to address them, and you need to say why you're emailing them and who you are. A lot of these professors and faculty members are getting bombarded with emails every day, and it's easy to ignore the ones that are kind of seem less urgent. I know that it's super important if you're going to email a professor, like for example, to say, hello, Professor blah blah blah, my name is Layla Emmert, I'm in your blah 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 class at this time, and then say, oh, I have a question about the homework for this assignment. You need to be as specific as possible because they're going to want as much information as possible so that they can answer you as quickly as possible and get it over with. My dad is actually a professor where I go to school, and I know that dealing with students can sometimes be frustrating, especially when they're not being clear about the things that they need. So just be as clear and polite and grammatically correct as you can. Number 5 is another one that seems like it would be pretty obvious, but let me explain what I mean a little bit. When you go into college, it's really easy to try to change who you are and maybe be fake around people because you're trying to be the best version of yourself, and you kind of get to start over with like making friends and kind of how you present yourself, and it's really easy to come in with like a whole new attitude. But I'm telling you now, it's hard to keep up with someone who you're not. So my 5th tip is to be yourself, and even if you want to better yourself, like that's great. I feel like I did change a lot my freshman year. I kind of came into who I was. I felt like a better person. I felt like I was happier and doing more things that I cared about. I didn't do that by being someone who I'm not. The best way for you to make friends that you actually like being around is to be yourself, because if they want to be around your real personality, then you'll probably want to be around theirs too, and that's the most important thing. It's pretty easy to find people who you would get along with in college because there's such a variety, but if you want to find those people, you have to be yourself, and that's how you're going to get the farthest. So number 6 is one that I really want to put emphasis on because this is super important, and it's to use the mental health resources that are provided to you on campus, because it can be really easy to just glaze over that and not care about it. But once you go into your first year of college, I know for myself and for a lot of people, mental health can become a really big struggle, and I know that most colleges have lots of resources and people to talk to when you're struggling with that. By the end of my first semester and going into my second semester, I was at a very low point in my life, and I was mentally pretty unhealthy. But once I was able to talk about it and tell people, they were able to help me and get me on the right track, and we came up with a lot of different ways to get through that. And I seriously recommend that because it did change my life and it did turn it around for the better. And I feel like now I'm at one of like the best mental places that I've ever been before. Number 7 is to make sure that you're making time for yourself. Now, this isn't something that I really struggled with, but I was friends with people who would spend so much time on their schoolwork and focus on it so much more than everything else that they were barely able to have time to hang out with their friends. And obviously, succeeding in school is an extremely important thing, especially in college. It's also really important for your mental health and for your health overall to be able to spend time for yourself and have fun and do things that you enjoy, so that it's easier to get back into the things that are important, like school. My 8th tip is to not be afraid to change your major. And this one is important to me because it hits pretty close to home, because I went into my freshman year of college as a social work major, and I knew I wasn't sure about it, and I figured out pretty quickly on that it was not for me. I wasn't enjoying it very much. So I decided to drop that major, and I applied for something that I'd wanted to do but was too scared to apply for, and I applied for the fashion design program at my school, and I actually got in, and it was one of the most exciting moments of the whole year for me. I get to start that new major this fall, and I'm so excited. In my opinion, I feel like it was worth it to drop the major that I wasn't sure about so that I could do something that I actually want to do. It's really important to know that it's okay to change your major, and it's okay to spend a little extra time in college. Like, I'm gonna be in college for probably 5 more years because of my new major, and I'm fine with that because it's more time for me to grow and figure out what I'm doing. There's no time frame for how you're supposed to be and graduate at a certain year. It's not like that. Like, you're going to college for yourself. Remember that. My 9th word of advice is for people who are going to a college specifically in cities. I go to a college in Cincinnati, which is a pretty big city in Ohio, and it can be rather dangerous at times. So I would really advise you to get some sort of self-protection, such as pepper spray. My friends and I all had pepper spray that we attached to our little wallets or whatever, and we never had to use them. I want to make that clear. But there can be sketchy people out there, especially at night, and college kids love to go out at night. So you just need to be careful and always be on guard, because not everyone can be trusted. And especially if you're a girl, you need to have pepper spray and be looking out for yourself, no matter where you go to college, really. So finally, my last word of advice is to get out of your dorm. It can be easy to spend all your time in your dorm, sleeping, doing your homework, eating, everything, never really leaving that shack because it's so convenient. But it can be really kind of cluttering. It can make you feel like you're in prison or something, which is really dramatic, but you know what I mean. It's important to not do everything in the same space, because it can make that space become really negative in your mind, and you're not going to want to spend time or feel happy in a space where you're supposed to be living. So that wraps up all the advice I have for college freshmen, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope like this actually was able to help someone. And thank you for watching, and please subscribe, because I'm actually getting close to 100 subscribers. I know, me, like so okay, that also like and comment and do whatever. So just thank you for watching. Bye.